Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So this is one of my 40-gallon planted livebearer community tanks, and all the livebearers are up here in front swimming around, but look in beyond them. That Siamese algae eaters are picking up algae in the Java moss there. So I have noticed them doing this lately. Pretty much since I've pulled out a lot of the Java moss. Since I've added them, they've been a big disappointment where they weren't eating algae, but yeah, now they're doing it. So, you know, one theory that I had was maybe it was just because it was just so dense. So I would never see them hardly when they would just be somewhere in the back, and from what I have in here now, I've probably pulled out maybe 75% of the Java moss. So I had the two that I added in here initially, and I still had one in the quarantine tank. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So the third one is the one that was added recently, but the two that were in here weren't eating algae at the time. Yeah, so hopefully they can gradually pick away at the blackbeard algae that's been on it. So there's still, like over here, you can still see some clumps. So now that they're doing that, and some over here, I'm going to let them leave it as it is. So one thing I do want to do is still kind of clean this up. I was even thinking of maybe just to pull all of this out, because there is river rocks under here that the Java fern plants were attached to. That was like a rock pile, but then the Java moss is covering up. And even then, I used to have a colony of shrimp in here, and I lost those. I've since just recently added a few that I took out of my other tanks, but I'm going to add more. And I think with the rocks, it's like all just detritus, so there isn't even like any gaps in between them for anything to get in between it. So I might just pull it all out, kind of start over a bit, just so I can clean up and peel off all the Java moss, so that I can actually just get the roots of the Java fern and get it back to the way it used to be. Like even going back to when this really started as a 30-gallon tank before I upgraded when that tank leaked and when I moved. So I'm gonna try to do that. But yeah, it's good to see the Siamese algae eaters eating algae. Good to their name, because they were disappointing me. Yeah, I mean, just looking at this tank where I think the last time I showed it, I did remove some Java moss, but I've since removed even more. Just all this, like, it was covering up over here, so you couldn't even see the back. But just, you know, difference that makes it look like a bigger tank, just more space. It was, you know, the depth of the 40-gallon breeder just seemed like it wasn't as wide. I was just filled up with all that, but yeah. So that's where it is now, how it is now, and I do have some fish that are in quarantine right now that I will be moving in here this weekend. They have spent enough time that they're ready to move out of quarantine, so yeah, I'll be adding those. But just wanted to point out those Siamese algae eaters eating algae. Pretty awesome. Alright, well that's it for now, and remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.